Hi everyone, welcome to lecture 4B. Today we're going to be looking at um, the examination questions but in terms of like the longer answer questions, so things like the 8 marker and the 12 marker. So we're going to start off, and it's a continuation from life changes and daily hassles, and we're looking at the previous examination questions that have been asked, and I've actually written them myself to show you exactly how easy it is to get yourself an A grade without having to know loads and loads and loads of research. So the researches that we're going to be focused on is the ones I told you about in the previous lecture. That's 4A, so either 4 or 4A. So that's looking at Ray et al. For life changes. And for daily hassles, we've got Gervais, we've got Boutier. Yeah, it's got any of those basically. So we're going to stick to those. Now, looking at this first question, outline and evaluate research into life changes and or daily hassles as sources of stress. So you can technically get away with just writing about life changes, or you can technically get away with about writing about daily hassles, but I've actually included both in an essay. So I think it's just more, it displays your knowledge a bit more. Um, they always leave you a box to plan your answer. And even myself, I've been teaching this for many, many years. You cannot write an academic essay without doing some sort of plan. Here, I didn't even look at the researches again. I just done everything that I had from memory. So, for example, I just quickly jotted down, oh, they're Navy men, they're this, they're that, they'll yeah. So I just I basically I just done a little mini plan of what kind of things I'm going to include in my essay, and you'll find that when you do that, and it's very important that you do that, things just start flowing a bit more easier. Okay, so let's look at the actual essay. So this 12-mark essay. So I always start off by giving some kind of definition. So I want to start off with life changes. So I start off with what I mean by life changes, and I always use an example basically to let them know that I know what this is referring to. Then, so that doesn't have to be very long. So 1 or 2, 3 lines I've done here basically. So don't break the bank for here, because they're not assessing you or what you if you know what life changes are. They're looking at research. Yeah, that's the main thing in the question. Yeah. So I started going on about started straight into Ray et al. What Ray et al. Has been one of my key studies. So what they've looked at, you can pause it to read it more thoroughly if you wanted to. Um, so that's this all here will be my AO1 section right here. So I put my AO1 as maybe yellow. Oh no, not that yellow. Gosh, I put my A1 as yellow. Okay, so then after that, I done like a little commentary to say that it's not just life changes. So right here is a commentary, not just life changes that have been looked at. Some psychologists that believe that it's also daily hassles which may cause issues on people's health. So then and so I defined what daily hassles were, and again I used an example of receiving an A grade for an essay. Then I went straight into my prime second research for daily hassles and uplifts, which I'll use Gervais. So again, I've got a bank of 4 potential essays that I could use, but I'm only really using 2, but I'm being smart with the 2 that I'm using. So all of this here, Gervais, here is all my AO1. Again, so I put that as yellow. And then I move straight on. So I've been to evaluation. So I've got my limitations. Now they don't just want you to say one limitation is that it lacked population validity. They really want you to explain, and it's called elaboration. Okay. So first of all, I said I criticised Ray et al. Study because they just used Navy men. Then I explained why it may be an issue that not all types of jobs are people that go out to the Navy. Some in the general population, some people doctors, as we know, teachers, lawyers. So I've kind of like elaborated a bit more what I meant. Yeah, then I further on done some more elaboration. It could have been that some men may have just been stressed out by being out in sea. Yeah, so I carried on with my elaboration. And then I started talking about a bit more about the whole emphasis of population validity, how it was only conducted in America. And I said why it's an issue, because America is a westernized part of the world. Okay, and then I basically cross-referenced that with non-westernized countries, how they may not see life changes in the same way. Okay, and then right at the end, I now say because of these reasons, it now lacks population validity, and we're unable to generalize it to the general population. However, you can generalize it with a caution to American Navy men. Yeah, so you have to actually state that some people just make the mistake of saying you can't generalize it to the general population. You can, but only to the particular population that they were actually looking at. So that's very, very important. So let's put my AO2 stuff in blue. Okay. And another, I've done my limitations there. So also I find it good practice to do both a limitation and a strength, and the same process of elaborating your material. So I decided to focus for both studies. See, I've been smart with it here. The use of questionnaires and why it's so good to use questionnaires for psychological studies. The whole thing about quantitative data being easier to analyze, quicker to collate, etc. Okay, so this here again will be some more AO2 that I'm doing, and then obviously my conclusion, which a lot of people find difficult to write conclusion. So I've given you some ideas. Okay, so I haven't just regurgitated what I've basically found out or what I've done in the essay, because that's just you not doing anything much with that. Conclusion still can generate us a nice little AO2 mark as well. So I've basically been smart with it. I'm saying that we can actually, the research has shown a link between stress in everyday life and health. However, I started to be smart and say that psychologists can start looking at other areas, other avenues, such as the problems I highlighted, such as the westernized versus non-westernized world, life changes and daily hassles being brought together, and do things cross-culturally. Okay, because health, as I said, this is what we call implications. Health is important for people because potentially, once we've solved, because the whole thing about psychology is trying to understand and help human behavior. So if we're able to understand and help what kind of things cause us stress, therefore health and illnesses, we can potentially save lives around the world. So that will be a nice little concluding point in terms of what psychologists can now do and what they can focus on. Okay, so that's the end of this particular lecture. If you want to stop it, go back, look at what I've done to write this essay, you can. If you want me to send you a copy of the essays, I'm going to put all my essays on Amazon as an ebook. It's going to be for free, don't worry. Don't believe in charging for stuff. And then you can have a collation of all the essays. Just make sure you send me a message on YouTube if you can't find it, you need some help doing certain things. Okay, see you next lecture. Bye. Okay, so that's a 12-mark question. We also have outline and evaluate research into life changes as sources of stress. So life changes, again, I've got two studies to focus on in my little study bank. So I've got Raretel and Mark, but it's only an 8-marker. So be very careful with 8 markers. These are not the same as 12 markers. You get 4 marks for your AO1 and you get 4 marks for your AO2. So I've done exactly the same as before. I defined what life changes were. I went straight into the Ray study. Yeah, that's enough. Straight into the Ray study. So I've done his aims, procedures, findings, and conclusions, which is this now suggests basically. And then I just done one elaborated evaluation point about the Navy men, about how it's done in the American population. Done exactly the same thing as I've done at Overleaf. You don't really need to do a conclusion here because it's not a full 12-mark essay. But that should be enough, for example, to get you your full 4 marks for AO1 and then 4 marks for your AO2 bits. Okay, so I just put it here visually so you can see. So all of this will be my AO1 and all of this will be my AO2. Okay, so it's nice and equally split. Simple as. Okay, again, any problems or any issues, please do let me know. Okay, bye.